If riffs are sentences, then intervals are your vocabulary. So let's get fluent and let's get those bass lines to really speak. What's going on? Welcome to Beholden to the Riff, the heaviest bass channel on YouTube. Today, we're checking out intervals. So grab your axe, tune up, and let's do this. Put simply, an interval is the space between two notes. It's how we measure the distance between any two notes. But it's not just math. It is emotion and expression. For example, a major third can sound uplifting and hopeful, while a tritone, or the flattened fifth, this distance can sound creepy and ominous. So we can use these emotional expressions of intervals to our advantage and write highly expressive bass lines. Exploring the emotional intensity of intervals is one of the most important tools that a bassist or any musician can master. So here's a breakdown of some commonly used intervals and the emotions they tend to project. These are general characterizations, and they can always change depending on the tempo, the overall mood of the song or bass line. But this will give you a strong foundation for learning intervals and getting them in your ear. Let's check it out. So first, we're going to check out the unison. The unison is actually the same note, but we use this term unison when two or more instruments are playing the same note. They're playing in unison. We can also express that on our instrument. If we do the 12th fret on the E string, is the same as the 7th fret on the A string, is the same as the 2nd fret on the D. Okay? Those are all the same pitch, the same register, and the same note. We hear it slightly differently on our instrument because of the thickness of the strings and, various reasons, but these are all the same note, same pitch. The emotion that a unison interval expresses is one of grounding and gives an identity, okay? So we're playing the same note and it really roots the phrase and the bass line. Next, we have the minor second. A minor second can be played on the bass by playing one fret higher. So if we play the open E string, the minor second is the 1st fret. The emotion that a minor second expresses is really one of dissonance and discord and unease. A great example is Jaws. Okay, so the score for Jaws, the main theme is, and then it ramps up. It's used a lot in metal and really adds a slight edge to any bass riff. Next, we have the major second. The major second is a distance of 2 frets. So if we play open E to the 2nd fret, so a major second will evoke a sense of movement, can create tension and friction, but really gives us the sense of a possibility of resolution. So we usually play a major second while leading into another note. So like, next we have the minor third. This is when we go 3 frets up. So from open to 3. This we hear a lot in metal and in blues. The emotion that a minor third can express is really one of introspection and mystery. It's one of the most powerful intervals that we have, and we play it all the time in heavy music. So next we have the major third, and this interval can really provide a sense of uplifting and hopefulness. It's like the happiest interval. So it's 2 whole steps or 4 frets. So it's 0 to 4. We don't typically use it all that often in heavy music as it sounds kind of happy, but it can add a really interesting flavor in the middle of intensity. Like it's nice to throw in there, but we do hear it a lot in like popular music. Next up, we have the perfect fourth. That's going to be 5 frets up or 2.5 steps up. So that's open to 5. This is another kind of happier sounding interval. It is stable sounding, but it gives a sense of pushing forward a little bit. We'll use it a lot. We go from the 1 chord to the 4 chord. Okay, we hear it a lot in all kinds of music, and very important to get in your ear. Next up, we have the flattened fifth, or the tritone. That's 6 frets up. Okay, so that's 0 to 6. Or 3 whole steps. That's why we get the tritone. So the tritone is right in the middle of the octave, and it sounds very ominous, very scary. Okay, we will hear it in metal and rock music a lot. All right, very, very important interval. Next up, we have the perfect fifth. That is up 7 frets. So if we go from 0 to 7, power chord is a root note and a perfect fifth above that note. So an interval of a perfect fifth. When we play it together, that's a power chord. So this is a very important interval, and one that we should practice to be able to just hear it in our mind and to be able to hum it and to know when it's a perfect fifth, okay? Super important interval. Next, we have the minor sixth. So this is another kind of dark sounding interval, very kind of haunting. So this is up on the 8th fret. So the minor sixth is really great for more melodic phrasing, more expressive kind of bass lines. Next up, we have the major sixth. So that's going to be 9 frets up, so open to 9. So a major sixth can make a bass line sound very more lyrical and more melodic. We'll hear it a lot in vocal melodies and more like melodic bass lines. Very cool. Even just going from open to 9. We don't hear it all that often in heavy music, but when we do, it really perks our interest. Very cool. So next up, we have the minor seventh. That'll be, if we go open E, that'll be on the 10th fret. This is very bluesy sounding, but we use it a lot, going from this 10 to 12. Okay. Except like a very, very important interval that we're going to play all the time, okay? Next up, we have the major seventh, so that is going to be 11 frets up, so it's open to 11. This is really a strong leading tone, which means it leads us into the next note. It's really leading us back to that root note, back to the octave. So this is great for like creating atmospheric bass lines and creating a sense of tension. Very cool interval. So the last interval we're going to check out, I've mentioned a few times, this is the octave. So it's up 12 frets, so 0 to 12. This is the same note, so this is open E. This is an E on the 12th fret. This is an octave because we're going from a lower register E up to a higher register E. So when we play an octave, it really gives a sense of clarity. So we'll hear it a lot. Like if I go 5th fret on the low string, 7th fret on the D. I like to use it as a way of creating a sense of movement without changing the note. So it gives our ear a little bit of interest. So instead of just playing the root note here, or open to 12. It can provide a real strong sense of movement without changing the harmony at all. We're going to play a lot of octaves, so very important. We should be able to hear that and without question know that it's an octave, okay? So a perfect song to practice octaves and the tritone is Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. So we start on the F sharp, go up an octave, then to the tritone. Okay, so it's that start on the root note, go up an octave, go down to the tritone. So we need to be able to hear that in our mind and to be able to hum it. Boom, ding, boom, bing, boom, bang. So a great way to really learn these intervals is to find songs that that you have memorized and that start with a specific interval. So a great one to practice is Black Sabbath by Black Sabbath. It goes like this. So a great place to start is to start with the thirds, okay? So a major third, I'm going to play on the 5th fret. This is an A on the low string, and I'm going to go up a major third. So this is A. I'm going to go up to the C sharp on the A string. And if you play them separate, sounds like this. If you play them together. Now, if we play a minor third, we're going to play the 5th fret, starting on the same note. This time, we're going to play the 3rd fret on the A string. This is a C. If you play them together, it sounds a little darker, a little more introspective. A little happier on this major third. A little darker on the minor third. Okay, so just go back and forth, try to hum along. If we play this shape anywhere on the bass with in standard tuning, in a standard tuning, we have this minor third. So like a bass line. If we change that bass line to a major third, so I'm going to go, instead of this shape, I'm going to play this shape. It sounds way happier. So we need to be able to tell the difference, especially in feel, to know that something is minor versus major. So this is minor. Happy, uplifting to introspective. So another important one is the perfect fourth. If I start on the 5th fret on the low string, it's the 5th fret on the A string. And again, the same shape. A perfect interval, so the perfect fourth and perfect fifth, are neither major nor minor. They travel through both worlds. Okay? Perfect fifth, same deal. We can play this shape anywhere on the neck, as long as it's, if it's a 7th fret here, we go up a string and 2 frets over. That shape. That's a perfect fifth or a power chord when you play it together. Okay? So I really hope this helps. And if you want to take this further, check out the Roadmap to Riffian online bass course, where I go through this and so much more to help you become a beast on bass.